Right, guys, after Mom Donnie Buzz, we are getting back a little bit to some of the philosophy and science stuff. And so I watched a really interesting talk that was called Hard Proofs. And this isn't going to be too crazy, but it was called Hard Proofs in Natural, like what is natural science? And it was talking about how we know what we can know about math. Like, the example that we might be familiar with from school is like Pythagorean's theorem. If a squared plus b squared equals c squared or something, do you need to see the long proof that this is true? Or can you just go practically apply it? How can you actually say that you have knowledge or justified knowledge of something like this? Um, and and yeah, this is actually a really hard hitting question, like IRL, right? In real life. And like an example is, if I have like 100 calorie rice cake or something, because I'm like super into fitness or whatever, and and I'm wondering how I get that 100 calorie number. Like, is it the case that there is just some physical object, there's something in the universe, and the only way we can measure it is that when you add up all the pieces, parts, and you're seeing how much energy, how many particles, and what that means for like biological consumption, it can only equal 100. And so we're asking a lot of chemistry, we're asking a lot of physics and stuff like this. And this is one way to say that I know something. It's to say, well, when I break it down and build it back up and I do all the stoichiometry and transformations, a rice cake is 100 calories. And it's 100 calories just like anything else is 100 calories. But there's another question too that doesn't even touch on proofs or anything like that yet. And it's sort of asking, well, maybe it's like if we're asking about a rice cake and 100 calories, maybe we're just asking about this number 100. The units maybe sort of matter, but at the end of the day, if this is like a mathematical thing, the 100 is what matters. And there's only really one way that we sort of, the universe as it is, when it pulls from numbers, when it shows itself to be numbers, the only way a rice cake can be is to have 100 calories. And so it's a, it's a crazy question. The sort of approach of hard proofs in natural sciences asks sort of, well, maybe it's the case that depending how we answer this question is sort of where we go to look for explanations, where we go to look for evidence and stuff like this, right? And I can imagine, if I'm rice cake person number one, I maybe only care about like the rice patty, right? I only care about the fields. If I'm like rice cake person number two, then it's like, yeah, ultimately, if I can't put this back in a math textbook, I'm not going to believe anything. And that's why we need to know more.